Alright, here's video example number 2 for hyperbolas. We're given the equation of the hyperbola in general form, and we want to change it to standard form. So we're going to have to complete the square, do a little rearranging. So what I want to do is I want to group the x's and then group the y's. So I'm going to have 4x squared minus 48x, and then we'll group the y's. So minus y squared plus 2y, and then I'll move the constant over to the other side, so that's going to equal negative 127. Okay, so essentially we're subtracting 127 from both sides. Now, in order to complete the square, my leading coefficient here needs to be 1, so I'm going to factor out the 4. So I have 4 times x squared minus 12x plus, I need to take half of my coefficient of the x term, so that's negative 6 squared. And then over here, I'm going to subtract, and I have to complete the square over here, so I'm going to put parentheses around there. And when I put these parentheses, essentially what ends up happening is that I'm factoring out a negative 1. So now this becomes y squared, but this positive 2y becomes a negative 2y. And then we'll complete the square over here. So if you think about this, if I redistribute, if I get rid of these parentheses and redistribute, I would have minus y, and then I would have minus 2y, or minus negative 2y, which would give me the plus 2y. So very common place to make mistake. Make sure when you put those parentheses around there that you factor the negative 1, so the sign of your term over here, your middle term, is going to change. Alright, so continuing with completing the square, take half of negative 2, that's negative 1 squared. Alright, and that's going to equal negative 127. And then we're adding 4 times negative 6 squared here, so plus 4 times negative 6 squared. And then we're subtracting, there's a minus over here, so minus negative 1 squared. And again, really it doesn't matter that we have negatives inside these parentheses, because they're going to become positive when we square it anyway. Alright, so factoring this, we get 4 times x minus 6 squared minus, and then y minus 1 squared is equal to, alright, all of this over here should equal 16. Our standard form, it's got to equal 1, so I'm going to divide by 16, so it'll equal 1 there. If I divide this side by 16, I have to divide everything on this side by 16, so divide these also by 16. Then we'll do a little bit of simplifying. So 4/16 is going to reduce to 1 over 4, so we don't need to put the 1 in the numerator. So I have x minus 6 squared over 4 minus y minus 1 squared over 16 is equal to 1. So here's our standard form of the hyperbola. Again, you should be able to determine whether it's horizontal or vertical. You should be able to find A and B, vertices, center, foci, asymptotes, graph it, all that good stuff. If you have any questions, make sure you write them down and ask me next time you see me in class.